For the fight fans joining us and the millions watching around the world, out of the Red Korner.
Yes, ladies and gents, welcome back to In the Red Korner podcast with me, Ross. I hope everyone's well. Today, I'm joined by Lionheart, Kaleb Harris, who's going to be the main event at Bkfc 46 in Newcastle against RICO FRANCO. He's in the background now, so I'll bring him on. Here he is. Yes,
What's going
Kaleb,
on, everybody?
how are you doing? Are you well?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
Excellent. Just caught you on the way to a workout, I believe, yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Constantly. This is pretty much how I do most of my interviews. I'm always in the vehicle somewhere.
As long as you're safe, my friend, that's the important thing.
So, always.
Good man. So, obviously, you're coming over to the UK to fight RICO FRANCO, as I've just said, headline at Newcastle Bkfc 46. For those that don't know about yourself, could you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got into combat sports?
So, I've been doing martial arts for going on 23 years now. I'm 29 years old. I started martial arts roughly about when I was 7, doing the karate, mainly because I wanted to be a Power Rangers. Like, that's no lie. I went to my parents when I was 7 years old and was like, I want to be a Power Ranger. I want to take karate. And so they found this guy named Larry Engel, who used to be a pro kickboxer that was teaching karate for kids. I go in there. He asked me the same question. Why do you want to do karate? I want to be a Power Ranger. And so from 7 to 12, I was relentless. I stayed consistent. I went to every class, did not miss a day, got my black belt in karate when I was a kid. And at 12, I started getting bored. It just wasn't hitting right. Something was missing. And I pretty much sat down with Mr. Larry and was like, I think I'm about to quit. I don't have any fun anymore. And he goes, why don't you come try my adult class? It's kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. I'm like, all right, fine. So at 12 years old, the next youngest guy was a 25-year-old professional fighter. And the ages just went up from there. And I fell in love the second I got punched in the face. This is what I was meant to do. There was no other option. Plan A was formed. I'm going to be a professional fighter when I get older. And I stayed on the grind at 18 years old, senior in high school. I had my first 2 MMA fights. I ended up going 10-4 as an amateur, 3-1 as a pro, and had went to watch the first couple of Bkfc fights. I think it was Bkfc 3 was in Biloxi, which is not far from me. And I was like, these guys are insane. I want to do this. I grew up a soft kid. I have no problem admitting it. I was given everything I ever wanted. I should be sitting behind a desk somewhere with 15 years of experience, but instead I chose a hard life. I wanted to prove to myself that I was a tough fighter, and I saw Bkfc as another way to try it. I went out there and I fell in love with the sport. And since that first fight in 2019, I've had 10 fights with them.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, from going to watch Bkfc 3, you then appeared on Bkfc 5. So you've been around the game a long time. And like you've just said, 10 fights in the sport as well.
Yes, sir.
It's coming. So fighting RICO is going to be your 11th fight. You've got a record. Is it 6-4? Your record?
It is 6-4. I've only put my knee to the canvas one time, and that was against Jim Allers. Every other time, I've never been knocked down. But that one time in 10 fights, I've if I've lost, it's been by either split decision or majority decision. That nobody has finished me. Nobody will finish me.
Yeah. So your last outing was only a couple of months ago, Bkfc 36 against Brad Kelly, which you were victorious in. It was a fantastic fight. So you're back in camp now, or your camp started now.
Yes,
How long have you been in camp?
I've been in camp officially a couple of weeks. This fight kind of got brought on us. We were planning on fighting a few weeks later in the year, more towards the end of July. So I was in the process of getting ready for a camp, but we thought we still had a little while. We got offered this fight, but they didn't know when they were going to make the fight happen. I was told August, September. So I was like, okay, cool. So, we didn't come off the gas, but we weren't putting our foot to the floor anymore. And then all of a sudden, the very next day, I get a text saying the fight's been offered for July 1st. And so that was 8 weeks directly out. So now pretty much on top of camp, now I'm rushing to get passports and everything else took care of, so that I can come over there and give y'all a good show.
Excellent. Will this be your first time over in the UK?
It will. It's actually going to, unless you count cruise ships, going to like Mexico, it's going to be the first time I've ever really been out of the country. So I've always wanted to come to England. It's one of the places out a little bit.
Oh, we've lost you there. Sorry, so you cut out there. Just said that you've always wanted to come to England, and then.
Yeah, I've always wanted to come there, and I hope that Bkfc decides to give me a few days to where I can actually, after the fight, enjoy and see some of the beautiful, beautiful places that y'all have.
Yeah, fantastic. You'll find out that we're not all just tea drinking, pussies.
Oh no, man! I keep an eye on the English fighters that are coming over to Bkfc because, by all means, all of our histories are laid with war. So I know that there's warriors all over, especially coming from England.
Yeah, absolutely. So saying that, do you know much about RICO then?
I really don't. I didn't know who he was until I got the fight offered to me, and I looked him up. They're talking about how I did see a bit of his interview where they're like, nobody wants to fight him over there, that they had to pull somebody from like France or something to fight him. And I was like, I've never heard of him, so I'll fight him. Basically, it comes down to, as long as the pay was good, I'd fight anybody. I'd fight God if the paycheck was high enough. But it ended up being, I studied a good bit, and Franco's good. He's a skilled fighter, especially when he's comfortable. But I don't think he's ever fought an American. He damn sure never fought a Southern American like me. So he's going to be a little surprised, I think, when he tries to hit me and he realizes this mountain ain't moving.
Yeah. How about the Bkfc UK? How's it kind of viewed over in America? Do people watch it? What do people think?
I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I don't really watch much of the Bkfc fights myself unless my future opponents are on there. But I know I watched the Conor Tierney fight because, like I said, me and Conor's going to run it at some point or another. That's no disrespect towards him. It's just facts. But from everything that I've seen, the UK fights actually get more pulls as far as people wanting to watch them versus a lot of the shows over here in America. And I think that's just because a lot of people over here want to see what the fighters are like over there, especially because y'all got the BKB crew. There's several other bare knuckle promotions that are popping up that these English guys had signed to, and now they're coming away from to come to Bkfc. So everybody's interested to see, like, how well do they hang? And for some of them, they hang pretty well. For some, it don't go so well.
You mentioned Conor Tierney there. Is Conor someone that you've got your eye on then?
I've had my eye on him since he came into BKFC, just because if you're a 165-pound fighter, my eye's on you. Just know that now. That's you can call it a warning, you can call it just a friendly bit of advice. But I mean, Connor's cool by all means. Even reached out and told me that I was welcome if I came early to get some work in over at his gym to help cut weight and stuff. You know, I'm not out here trying to make enemies. I don't do the trash talk. I don't try to pick fights outside of the ring. I'd rather sit down and have a shot of whiskey or something with you, you know, after the fight. You know, whatever happens in the ring happens in the ring. So, you know, it's been cool seeing the world come together more with the sport of bare knuckle.
Yeah, I mean, it's just expanding and expanding as a sport, isn't it? It's fantastic to see. What can we expect to see from Kaleb Harris then over in the BKFC UK?
The same thing you expect to see when you come to America on 4th of July. Fireworks, baby. It's gonna be a lot of fireworks and a lot of bombs dropped when me and Franco go off at each other.
Excellent. Are you a man for giving predictions, or how do you see the fight going?
I'm gonna put him down by the 4th round.
Yeah. There we go. There we have it.
By the 4th round, the fight's gonna be done.
There we have it, ladies and gents. I wanted to touch on something as well. I mean, you're a big advocate for suicide awareness and prevention, and you know, fantastic that you're bringing the awareness to that as well. Do you mind? It might be a personal question. You don't have to answer. How did you get into? How did that come about?
I deal with a lot of anxiety, depression, not as much. I do get depressed from time to time, but that's kind of the secondary to my anxiety. I've just always been a very anxious kid. After some relationship issues, it got really bad. And the worries, the fears, the what ifs got really loud in my head. And there was a time I thought, I'll just end it. I'll be done with it, you know? And I actually see the appeal. I understand why people pulled the trigger, so to speak. And it's because then you don't have to worry about anything else. But that's not true, because all you're doing is you're passing on all your pain to one of your family members. And that's why I was never able to commit to anything, because I knew how bad it would hurt my mom. My mom has already experienced family members commit suicide. She lost her brother. I've had friends and family that have also lost loved ones. And I just see the damage that it's done. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of it has to do with men, because we're looked at as we have to be these strong pillars of the community, that we can't show weakness. We can't cry. We can't say, hey, I'm hurting. And I'm just trying to bring awareness to that by saying, if this dude that gets in there and fights bare knuckle can admit on live, you know, that there's days where I can't handle it almost. There's days where I come home from the gym and I shut off. But I know that tomorrow is going to be a better day. And that's always my motto is, as long as you keep walking, you will eventually walk out of the forest. But if you ever just sit down and give up, then you never move. And so if anybody happens to see this and they're in that situation, they feel like no matter how far they've walked, that they're not going anywhere, I promise you are. Just keep walking.
Yeah, if you've got any links or anything you want to send me over, I'll quite happily put them in the description box for anyone that helps. I mean, as men, we should be talking to each other, absolutely, and sharing our problems. It's what we need to do. We don't have to bottle it all up. And, you know, congratulations to you for being a strong advocate for that as well. Well done.
I appreciate that.
I really appreciate your time. Before we wrap this up, brother, is there any sponsors, coaches, gyms you want to shout out?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my two gyms, Primal MMA and Black Sails MMA. My coaches, Dustin DePuma, Johnny Little, teammates, Josh, JJ, James, JD, all of you guys, everybody, all of my students from Primal. I love every one of y'all. I could not do this without y'all. As far as sponsors go, Knockout Canada, you're always going to be on my corner. Downrange Lifestyle, which is a UK veteran owned operation. I can't thank y'all enough for the support. My management company, Smith Brothers Management, Kevin Smith is just an absolute gem when it comes to helping me get through all this stress. And to anybody that I may have forgotten right now, I'm sorry. I'm in fight mode right now.
Yeah. Big shout out to Smith Brothers there. They've got a great stable of fighters. Quite a lot of UK guys as well over here that they look after. So big shout out to them. One last question before we go. What would you say? How would you describe your fight style?
You ever tried arguing with a rock? I ain't giving up. The Rock don't give up. Rico Franco better be ready to kill me when he steps in that ring.
Excellent. Look, again, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. I'll let you get to training. I wish you the very best of luck. Keep in touch as well, my man, and I'll see you when you're over here. I look forward to it.
All right. Can't wait to see you guys.
Excellent. Good luck. See you later. There he is, Kaleb Harris, everyone. First time I'm speaking to him. Fantastic lad. Again, I will put any links that he sends me into the comments box. If you're struggling, then hit them up or talk to someone. But I'm back on again in about 10 minutes. I'm with Ross from Violent Gentleman clothing brand. He's putting on a show in Northern Ireland. That's going to be happening on the 28th of July, and the tickets are on sale now. Again, I want to point you out to Aaron Blakey's new podcast as well, new YouTube channel, Strong Mindset, it's called. I don't know if it was on the Fully Game podcast. I keep shouting them lads out, but they're doing a great job. It's well worth a watch. Go and see it. He's been through a lot, and he talks about his mindset, how he comes out of it on his new channel as well. So go and subscribe to him. And while we're talking about subscriptions again, that brought it round nicely, didn't it? Go and hit the subscribe button for me as well, please. I'm 12 away from 1,000. The march to 1,000 is on. So massive respect to everyone for that, and thank you very much for all that have subscribed. Hit that like button as well. I'll push the video out there. Thank you very much. And I'll see you all in about 10 minutes' time. Come back. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. See you later.
For the fight fans joining us and the millions watching around the world, Red Korner.
Corner podcast would like to thank our show sponsors, the Gentry Barbers and Tattoo Lounge, Funky Gums Mouthguards, Vandella Phone Repairs, and The One Who Follows.